that following calls by the Belgian government dissuading citizens from migrating into Belgium over false promises of job and better living conditions, Nigerians have called on its government to improve on the living standards in the country. Representatives of the Belgian Ministry of Interior spoke to newsmen in the nation's capital, Abuja, saying many Nigerian girls in Belgium are forced into prostitution upon arrival, a situation that benefits only traffickers and not the victims. Amadine Uyi reports.
According to the Africa Center for Strategic Studies, 43 million Africans are documented to be living in foreign countries. Why not all migrated illegally? A record number left the shores of the continent through irregular means, seeking for unavailable jobs and a means to survive. The Belgian government recently raised an alarm over the high rate of Nigerian girls being trafficked into Belgium for jobs, with many of them now forced into prostitution.
A lot of people, especially girls, exclusively girls, are forced into prostitution. In the big Belgium cities, Antwerp, Brussels, we still have quarters where the prostitution is not dominated, but it is exclusively Nigerian. The only thing what we can differ there is the color of the underwear. Sometimes it's white, sometimes it's red, but they are all girls from Nigeria, often from the region, Edo State, the region of Benin City.
With about 1.37 million African nationals recorded to have attempted to cross into Europe in the last 15 years, many of these migrants seek asylum in their countries of destination. The Belgian government is calling on Africans, notably Nigerians, attempting to seek asylum in Belgium, saying there are no spaces available for asylum seekers, as living conditions are harsh and unforgiving.
There are hundreds of asylum seekers living in Brussels on the street. And I can assure you the temperature in Brussels is not what it is here in Abuja. 2 weeks ago it was -7, -5. Now it's around 0 Celsius. So it's really not easy to survive in Brussels without help, without an assistance.
Nigerians react saying irregular migration is caused by a failure of governance, urging the government to sit up and live up to the expectations of citizens.
Youth to do their legitimate work.
Because of unemployment and also our economy, that is the reason why, in my own understanding, this is the reason why our Nigerian youth want to go to the other country to go and make money, like feed their family, to live fine.
With an estimated 35% of people in sub-Saharan Africa living in poverty, data suggests that if nothing is done to improve their living conditions, African cross-border migration might reach between 11 to 12 million people by 2050. In Abuja for News Central, I am Amadine Uyi.
And to talk about this, I've been joined live in the studio by Executive Director, Hope for the Masses Foundation, author of The Alchemy of Her, Tomisin Adebukola. Good afternoon, good morning rather from here. It's a pleasure to have you join me.
Good morning and good to have you. Good to be here rather.
All right, let's start with your thoughts on Nigeria being the highest when it comes to forced prostitution in Belgium.
Thank you for having me once again. I think let's begin with the fact that Nigeria has over 210 million people, and that also means that we have quite a number of them across the geopolitical zones in the country. Now, for certain areas of the country, from time immemorial, it has always been the tradition to find a way to relocate abroad, to find a way to make a living, to better the lives of their family, to be able to bring money in, and to be able to basically show off and say, yes, I have arrived. While I was growing up, it was very common at that time. People want to go to Dublin. As a matter of fact, if any lady tells you, while I was in secondary school and you are having a conversation with my mother and you say to her, that, where is your sister? Mommy, she has traveled. Where did she go to? Dublin. There is a you know, there is that natural, conclusion that that person has gone for prostitution. So it has been something when they say they're going to Dublin, they're going to Ireland, they're going to certain countries in Europe. At that point in time, it was always prostitution. Now that was enforced. But right now, people are now taking extra advantage of young people. Oh, do you want to be better? Do you want to? I mean, a young lady over the last couple of days posted on social media, sent to another celebrity actually, and said to her that she was considering, she's in Ivory Coast, and she was considering selling a kidney so that she could at least have a better life and maybe return home. And people were saying, why not just come back to Nigeria? I mean, you're a maid there, or you're doing forced prostitution there. We have people doing prostitution in Nigeria. It's not a legal business. It's not a legal profession. It's not even a legal means of livelihood. But people are doing it right here in Nigeria, and they're not living as bad. So why would you want to sell your kidney? That's the desperation. That's how really bad things have gotten to. People are now intentionally, there is the kidnap for organ transplant. There is the pretentious journey that people just come here and tell them, oh, don't worry, I have a job for you. And the boys their organs are being removed by forcefully. Their organs are sold by their masters or those who took them out of the country under the guise.
Just very quickly,
wanting to help them.
Yes, apologies to cut in there. I mean, when it comes to seeking greener pastures abroad, I mean, what are the red flags or even green flags to watch out for?
Let's begin with the fact that why do you want to seek greener pastures abroad? I mean, I just listened to the representative of the Belgian government telling us categorically that we do not have space for asylum seekers abroad in our country. That's one country. If you go to Netherlands is not very welcoming for blacks. It's not very welcoming. Why would you want to go seek greener pastures in the first place? Because the system has failed. Because we're looking at a system where youths no longer see viability in staying here. But is the pasture really greener on the other side? Is it really greener? I mean, we just had the issue with Togo, and a typical example played out when we were having conversations with Nigerian students and even foreign students who were in Togo under the guise of going for education. They went there with good intentions. They don't want us to strike, to delay them and all that. The truth is, the grass is not greener. Ghanaians want to be like us because they see the land of Nigeria, as bad as we think our country is, they actually see us as a very privileged, overprivileged Africans who have everything at their beck and call. They think we are privileged and we are spoiled people. That's the way they look at us. Ghanaians want to be like us. Liberians want to be like us. Everybody wants to be like a Nigerian. Americans are saying now they want to marry Nigerians because they feel that our men are the best out there. So where exactly do you think the grass is green?
This leads me to my next question for you, which is, what can the Nigerian government do in ensuring that citizens, we reduce the number of citizens traveling abroad for greener pastures or even seeking asylum elsewhere?
That's a very pregnant question. The Nigerian government has told us over and over again, dispensation after dispensation, that they are doing everything to make the environment more viable, more conducive. But I think more can be done, seriously. I see the Minister of Digital Economy right now trying to train more people in digital trends and computer skills and all of that. But way beyond all of that, when you have the skill, who absorbs you into the system? Where would you get the job? Where are the jobs? We need to get to a point where the Nigerian government sets a standard for private organizations. If you're going to employ somebody as a private company, there must be rules. There must be rules protecting not just the employer, but the employee. The environment itself must be conducive enough for people to want to stay. Some people are traveling simply because they cannot afford to have children in Nigeria, simply because our hospitals are sometimes in a shambles, or the behavior of the medical personnel there is not, is unbecoming enough for people to want to stay. So there are so many things the government can do. But the first thing really that I think we should tackle is this issue of indoctrinating the Nigerian to become a proper Nigerian. Stop eating things that do not add value to your system, all in the name of this superior complex of wanting to be Europeanized or Americanized and all that. You're a Nigerian, you're an African, you're blessed already. Look at the environment where you are. Let the Nigerian government show us the opportunities that are inherent in our society, and let them create a conducive atmosphere for everybody to be able to thrive right here. 210 million people cannot enter any country abroad. Soon, they'll tell us we can't come.
Well, that's a fine place to wrap it up. Thank you so much for your insight and, of course, your kind company on the news. Tomisin Adebukola.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. And I'm moving